problem, but they're radical left Democrats. You know, it's just like the craziest thing. But that's what Venezuela is. They're anarchists. You look at some of these cities, they're anarchists, and they don't want to say, and the press wants to call them peaceful protests. And we originally had a hard time. We had a hard time. They didn't want us to have any rallies in certain states. And then I realized you're not allowed to go to church. You're not allowed to have dinner with people. You're not allowed to do anything unless in Michigan you happen to be married to the governor because her husband. You're not allowed to go sailing unless you're married to the governor of Michigan, in which case you can go sailing. Remember that? Did she get caught or what? Now she's blaming me because people were whatever. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I wasn't. And it was our people that caught them, right? It's Trump's fault. Always Trump's fault. Isn't it incredible? And yet we did her a favor. Who knows? I mean, they have to look at that whole thing too. But we are doing an incredible job in this country. This country is great, and we have spirit like nobody's had spirit. And there's going to be a red wave next week that's going to be unbelievable. And they're talking about it. Look at that. That's millions of dollars worth of equipment. And they'll never turn it around to show those people back there because they want to say. Donald Trump had a rally in Georgia. There was a smattering of people, a small smattering. No, it's amazing. Nobody's ever had what we've had. And you're going to have a red wave. They call it a red wave. One of these characters standing right there, he said, it could be a red wave. Don't say there could be. There will be. It's going to be a wave. And they don't want to go the phony, unsolicited ballot. You know, they send ballots out by the millions. They don't have no idea. Well, they do actually have an idea where they're going. That's what really. But we say, who's sending them? Where are they going? Who's getting them? Who's delivering them? Who's signing them? What the hell are they doing? And then if you say that, they go, he's not for freedom. He's not for freedom. And they know better than you do. It's a big con job. So we have to be very, very careful with the ballots because they find ballots in a garbage can last week. Military ballots that had the name Trump on them, and they're in a garbage can. They found 50,000 ballots from Ohio. They find them from North Carolina, dumped in a river. They find them, I think, 500,000 ballots in Virginia. They were incorrect. They're printing them wrong. They had one little problem on one set of ballots, thousands and thousands. They forgot to put the name of Donald Trump on the ballot. Other than that, the ballot was quite good, okay? No, this is serious, and I'm being serious about this. These people are doing a tremendous disservice, and they're using COVID as the reason. You know, they're using this as a reason not to go out and vote. So we voted in World War I, where, by the way, you had a pandemic that made this look like peanuts, okay? World War I. They voted in World War I. They voted in World War II. They voted during the Great Depression. They voted. But we can't do that. You got to send in a ballot. So complicated, too. They have instructions. You do the ballot, then you do this. But some of them make it nice and simple. You don't have to sign. You don't have to verify. But what they don't tell you is we've won a lot of court cases. How about you put your ballot in, and it has to be in by November 3rd. But you have 2 weeks in which to, so wait a minute, you have 2 weeks to count them. Does that mean we have to hold up the whole election? Because you know what? I want to find out who won or lost. I want to find out legitimately who won or lost on November 3rd. I'm not looking to find out. I'm not looking to find out on November 19th or on December 1st or on 2 years from now. And if you take a look at some of these ballot schemes, in New York, we had a third-rate politician named Carolyn Maloney, who I know very well. She used to come to my office all the time for campaign contributions. But she won a race. The number of ballots missing, they have no idea. Her opponent, who could have won, it was very close, but they declared her the winner. But her opponent has gone totally nuts. And you know what? He should. He should. But you look at that, you look at Paterson, New Jersey, you look at what happened in Virginia. These are all races that took place recently. And they'll say, even, I must say, even In 18, they had a lot of disasters. And even in 16, I didn't even know it, but they had a lot of ballots. I promise it will be against us, okay? It will be against us. It will be against us. But you look at Nevada, we have a good chance to win Nevada, but they're sending ballots to everybody. The governor was a backroom politician, and I don't want him having the fate of an election. I don't think it's right that he has the fate of our most important election ever in his hands. I don't want that. So if you see anything wrong, law enforcement's watching, marshals or U.S. Marshals are watching, same type of guys. These are no games people. One thing I would say, law enforcement, they're on our side. And I said it. I said it during the debate with Joe. I said, Joe, name one law enforcement group that's supporting you. He couldn't do it. Then he was bailed out by Chris Wallace, right? I said, name one law enforcement. Then I said, here, Joe, just say the words law and order. Say those words, Joe. He didn't want to say it. I said, Joe, just say the words law and order. That's not hard. Joe, law and order. He couldn't say it. He wouldn't say it. Then he tried. I think he said law and order and safety and security, you know, because he has to get the vote of the radical left, and they don't like law and order. And you know who likes Trump because of law and order? The suburban women. We've gone over it. I keep hearing, because they want law and order. And I got, oh, look at that. Thank you. Same thing happened 4 years ago. Same thing. They said, women will not vote for Trump. Women will not. Then the election's over. They said, man, the women really came out and voted for Trump, right? But suburban women. They keep saying suburban women. And I got rid of a regulation that would have destroyed the value of your homes, okay? And would have made your homes very unsafe. With low-income housing being built all over the place, right next to your house, I terminated it. And even my people, they said, sir, you don't have to terminate. We can make it much weaker. I said, no, no, you don't understand. I want it terminated, and I terminated it. Suburban women, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. No, I heard they like my policy, but they don't like my personality. I said, they don't care about my personality. They want to be safe, and they want to keep their American dream. They don't care about my personality, which I think is okay. They like my personality, and I like them. I like them. I love them. The radical left is hell-bent on destroying everything that we love and cherish. You know, it's that culture stuff, right? Cancel culture. They want cancel culture. They want to get rid of our great heroes from the past. They want to get rid of our history. They want to get rid of our culture, right? I was at Mount Rushmore. They want to blow Mount Rushmore up. I said to our great governor of South Dakota, Christy, I said, Christy, it's never happening. Christy, don't worry about it. She said, you don't have to, we don't even need your help on this one. It was so beautiful, Mount Rushmore. They want to blow it up. I said, not going to happen. None of that stuff is going to happen. But I will tell you, a few months ago, if I weren't your president, you would have had the Jefferson Memorial, the Lincoln Memorial. How about Lincoln? They want to attack even Lincoln. He's probably looking down and he's saying, what the hell did I do? I was on their side, I think, right? What did I do? They want to attack the Lincoln. If I wasn't your president, they would have attacked the Jefferson Memorial. And I stopped it. I stopped a lot of things. I also saved your Second Amendment, by the way. They want to punish the middle class, expunge every last trace of traditional values, and replace the American dream with a socialist nightmare. The Democrat Party has gone crazy, but they have contempt for America. They have contempt for the United States. And I don't think Biden does, but Biden has no power. He's gone. He's gone. Up here, he's gone. The Republican Party is proud of America. We're proud of America. We love America. We celebrate American values, American history, and American culture. And we're working to deliver a truly extraordinary American future. But I want the Republican Party to get tougher, because The Republican Party, they're very good people, but they're not tough enough in terms of our values and what we stand for. They let these other people, these lunatics, get away with things like you can't spy on a campaign, you can't try and take over a duly elected president of the United States and get caught. And when you get caught, you have to suffer the consequences. It's very simple. Joe Biden and the Democrat socialists will kill your jobs, dismantle your police departments, and you see that going all over Seattle and all. And by the way, Seattle, so they knew we were going in the following day. So the night before, they raised their hands and they left. Okay, very simple. I said, that's it. Whether they like us in there or not, we're going in. They took over a big piece of the city, and they weren't going to do anything. They knew we were going in. And so the night before, they said, you know, these are little facts that I give you just to give you, because that's the way it works. They're supposed to ask us, the governors are supposed to ask us. But these radical left, you know, if you look at Republican-run states and cities, they're doing phenomenally well, never done better. But if you look at these radical left, look at what happened to my beautiful New York since I left. 3.5 years, it was doing great, and I left. I'm not saying because, but maybe it is, but I left. I came to Washington. What's happened to New York, what they've done to that incredible city and state is so sad. Look at Chicago. Look at what's going on there. Look at what's going on. Atlanta. Look at Atlanta. It's so sad what's going on. And these are radical left, no bail, no cash bail, no nothing. I mean, you kill somebody, no problem, no problem. They're going to have to get their act together. They're going to have to get their act together because we're not going to put up with it much longer. They want to dissolve your borders, release criminal aliens, raise your taxes. And by the way, I'm cutting your taxes big. Biden, this guy. No, Biden wants to substantially raise your taxes. And then he says, well, I'm only talking about people. I said, no. He wants to terminate the tax cuts that we gave you. So that's $2,000. And then you look at the energy cuts and you look at the child tax credit and you look, it's $1,000 each. And you look at all, it's $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a family. Well, if you're going to terminate it, that means that's $9,000. Well, I don't know about that. You know, then he pulls out a piece of paper and he starts reading it out of his. Did you see that? He did that yesterday. He pulled out a piece of paper because he couldn't remember any of the numbers. He pulls out, and George Stephanopoulos is sitting there watching this. He didn't treat me as nice, you know, so I did him 2 weeks ago, too. And he was okay. He was fine. You know, it is what it is, right? He's going to ask me a question, right? You know the expression? He asks you a question, I give him an answer. That's all you can do, right? You can't do any better than that. But they were nasty, you know, pretty nasty. And not terrible, but pretty. And last night she was out of line. I mean, in my opinion. She was out of line. It's like, as I said, just relax, take it nice and easy. But when you watch the one the week before, it's such a difference. The beauty is the people of our country get it. They're smart. They get it. They get it. They get it better than NBC owned by Comcast, C-O-N. I'd call it Comcast. You know, it used to be Com. They spend a fortune on public relations, and I come along and call them Comcast all the time. It's a con job. They want to confiscate your guns, drive God from the public square, and abolish the suburbs. That's what they want to do. To defend our Constitution from this madness, I proudly nominated Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the United States Supreme Court. She's great. She's so smart. She's so smart, right? She's done a great job. She's done a great job. And she do it, no problem. And they came at her. It was like your Atlanta team when they were good a couple of years ago. How the hell did they lose that Super Bowl? Could you have? How the hell did that happen? Like thinking, man, if you own that team or you worked for that team, that was a long shot. But, you know, it's one of those things. But that was like that team playing a high school football team, right? She was so much more talented than those people that were trying to embarrass her. And she was cool as hell. The coolest was, do you have notes? Do you have notes? Yeah. Right? A blank. No. She doesn't need to write down notes. I don't have notes either, right? So. And most of this has been off this teleprompter, because if it was on the teleprompter, many of you would say, this is a little boring. Let's get out of here, Sam. Last night, Biden refused to rule out court packing. In other words, they may take 16, 17, 18 people. He'll pack the court with radical left judges who will shred your Second Amendment, disarm law-abiding citizens, and protect terrorists and violent criminals. You know, I won the ban from jihadist countries or other countries. If people are bad, we don't want them in. So I went for the ban. Everybody said, but I won. I won in the Supreme Court. And you know what? We don't want people that can't love our country. We don't want people that are going to hurt our country. So I have a ban, very controversial. And we won at the United States Supreme Court. And we don't let people in from certain countries that are going to look to do bad things to us. Pretty amazing what's happened, isn't it? Biden's agenda would also be a catastrophe for Georgia seniors. Seniors. Do we have any seniors in the House? Right? We're proud to be seniors, right? For years, Biden tried to cut your Social Security. You know that, and your Medicare. Now Biden is pledging mass amnesty and free health care for illegal aliens, decimating Medicare and destroying your Social Security, because that's what's going to happen. You know, we all have a heart. I say this all the time. I mean, I don't want to hurt people. But once you say, come in, you're going to get free health care, you're going to get free education, the whole world is going to want to come into our country, and we're not going to be able to even come close to affording it. I have to take care of our seniors. I can't take care of millions of people that had no intention of coming here before these maniacs made these pledges. He'll bankrupt these programs to finance the left. Open borders. They want to take, actually, you know, we're just finishing up the wall, as I said. They want to take the wall down, some of them. We want to take down the wall. This wall is a dream. It goes deep and it goes high. A lot of bad people aren't coming in because of that. They want to take it down, many of them. While I'm president, no one will touch your Medicare. No one will touch your Social Security. Under my leadership, we're delivering a safe vaccine and a rapid recovery. I love the recovery because here I am. I mean, that's good. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I wasn't exactly feeling great. And, you know, when you're president, I told this today, when you're president, you get a lot of doctors. You get guys, Johns Hopkins, Walter Reed, you get all the great hospitals, and you got these geniuses, they're all over the place. Sir, let me do this, let me do that, just leave me alone, fellas. Get the hell out of here. But I wasn't feeling too great. And they gave me something, Regeneron. And a day later, I felt like Superman. I said, hey, whatever the hell that stuff was. And it's brand new, developed because of this. And we're going to do something very special. We're going to get it for every person that we think is appropriate for. In other words, every person that needs it. But I tell you what, you know, they could call it a therapeutic, but to me it was a cure, because the following day, our doctors are here. When you're president, they follow. We got more doctors. If anyone gets sick, this is a great time when I'm around, because you'll have about 15 doctors standing over you in about 9 seconds. It's happened. It's happened many times. Somebody gets not so well, and all of a sudden they got the greatest doctors you've ever seen. They do a fantastic job. But this was all developed just very recently, months ago, for this. It's incredible, the strides that we've made. If you vote for me, prosperity will surge. Normal life, that's all we want. I want a normal life like we had 7 months ago. We don't want any, we want a normal life. That'll resume. And next year will be one of the greatest years economically in the history of our country, because that's where we're going. This election is a choice between a Trump recovery and a Biden depression. Let me tell you something. He's going to quadruple your taxes. He's going to raise taxes on businesses. All the businesses that have moved into our country are going to move out. They're going back where they came. you're going to have a disaster. You will have a depression, the likes of which this country has never seen before if these crazy rules get in with the Green New Deal. You know, the Green New Deal, the real number is $100 trillion, 100 trillion. You know, they say, well, we could do it for like 9 trillion. Well, 9 doesn't work either, but the real price is 100. They want to rip down buildings and build new buildings in their place with tiny little windows. No, if you don't mind, I'd like to keep my window. I'd like to have a nice view of Georgia. No, no, think of it. $100 trillion. So, if we had an unbelievable economic surge that lasted 100 years without a problem, we wouldn't make $100 trillion. This is the craziest thing done by AOC plus 3, who knows nothing about the environment. She doesn't know. She's got a great line of bullshit. That's about it. No, it's true. She knows nothing about the environment. AOC plus 3. These were not great academics. How about Ilhan Omar? You know, I'm going to win Minnesota because of Ilhan Omar. She hates our country. I mean, you see the way she talks. She hates our country. No, please don't tell her to leave. That happened once before. I got in a lot of trouble. They start screaming she should leave, and they got me in trouble. They said, why did he protest? But she doesn't like our country. You see what she says. And I'm going to win. Remember this. Minnesota hasn't been won since 1970. That's a long time. 1972. And we're going to win Minnesota because of Ilhan Omar. Well, having Minneapolis ripped down, burned down, and then we come into the land, and they should have called us on day one. Day one. The problem is they keep waiting. They wait till, how about the CNN reporter? I think his name's Velchi, the shaved head, nice shaved head. Maybe I'll try that someday. I don't know. My poll numbers might go down or they might go up. You never know, right? Maybe they'll go up. But he's standing there. This is a friendly protest. And behind him, the fire is like 9 blocks long. It looks like Berlin during the worst days of their lives. The fires are, this is a friendly protest. Oh boy. Then the National Guard started moving forward. He got hit in the knee with a canister of tear gas. And he went down. I've been hurt. I've been injured. These people are crazy. You know, they don't report the violence. They don't report the looting on CNN, MSDNC, all these different networks. They don't report them. They don't want to talk about them. They want to think everything's wonderful. It's not. And the reason it's not, a lot of it is because of them. But I will deliver optimism, opportunity, and hope. And that's what we're doing. And this is why we have this kind of spirit. And I hate to say it because I don't want to insult Georgia, but it's this way all over our country. We have the biggest rallies in the history of politics. Nobody has rallies like this. Look at that. Look at the people. Now look, I mean, you can't see this. This goes all the way back, so you can't even see how far back. I can't even see the end of it. We have the greatest enthusiasm, the biggest crowds in the history of politics. And they don't talk about them. They'll say, yes, there were a smattering of people. That's true. I asked the First Lady, how did you like it? It was good. Were there any people there? I said, a lot. Didn't they show it? No, they don't show it. They just showed your face. They never go. She said, but I could hear it, you know? When you go to a Georgia football game when they're doing well, you can't imitate thousands and thousands of people with hundreds of people. I mean, Biden had a rally today, like 13 people showed up, and they don't talk about it. They say, Biden is here. The one guy actually made a mistake. He called him Sleepy Joe. He's an announcer. That guy's job is gone. But Vice President Biden is here today. He's making a speech on the environment. He has no idea what he's talking. They don't say that there's nobody there. You know, he's got the circles, right? The circles. Do you ever see it? He's got like 5 circles. And he goes there, and people are standing, and the reason that, and the circles, not only are they big, although I love the artistry, because the guy really does a nice job. You know, I'm into that stuff. It's very neat, very round, beautiful, solid. I mean, it would be impossible to catch anything if you're in one of those circles so far away. It's like, but I never joke about it. I mean, I don't think it's necessary for Sleepy Joe to constantly, you know, he walks onto a stage, the people are, number one, there's no people there. And the few people that are there are like, what, 50 yards away? And the mask is always so large, you know, it's like covers the whole thing. I shouldn't joke. I shouldn't joke, because you know what? Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know. Biden will deliver pessimism, poverty, and decline. Our nation will decline very seriously. And again, he's been doing this for 47 years. He said, why didn't Trump move faster? Well, when I put in the ban on China, because they were heavily infected, and then Europe shortly thereafter, Biden called me xenophobic. I said, tell me what it means, Joe. Please tell me. I want you to know. He was unable to define it. They wrote it down, xenophobic. And he called me a racist, I think, because it was so early. Now time goes by, and he said, he should have done it earlier. He should have done it earlier. But he was months behind me, remember? He thought it was terrible that we closed down to China. And Fauci said, and he said very nicely, he said, Trump saved thousands of lives by making that decision. And to be honest, I was like just about the only one that wanted to do it. Joe Biden would terminate our recovery, delay the vaccine, prolong the pandemic, and annihilate Georgia's economy. And you're doing a great job, and you have a governor that's working hard, and he's doing a great job. I don't even know if he's here, but he's working hard, and he's doing a great job. We're going to find out. And you've got a great first lady. And we're working to safely reopen their schools. Reopen the schools. Get those schools open all over our country. It's so bad. You know, Barron, right? Barron tested positive, my son. I said, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Like about 2 seconds later, how's he doing? Oh, he's okay now, sir. Because they have a great immune system, I guess. Who the hell knows? I mean, they have an immune system. 99.9 something percent, right? They're young and they're strong. I mean, for this particular disease, the flu, they have problems with young children. Real problems, real death problems. But for this, it's 99.99 something. I mean, it's like incredible. But no, Barron tested positive. The first lady's doing great. She's doing great. Doing a great job. And she didn't do the Regeneron thing. You know, she did it the old-fashioned way. She got better. But Barron, you know, Barron, young kid, healthy kid, but he tested positive. And by the time I got to speak to the doctor the next time, it was like, how's he doing, doc? He's okay now, sir. He's gone. I said, it's gone that quick? But this is what happens. And then you're immune. It could be a long time. Yeah, Barron's, everyone loves Barron. Do you think he's tall enough? He's a tall, young guy. But he's doing good. But, you know, it's an amazing thing, the children. That's why they have to get back to school. We have to protect our seniors very much. We have to protect our seniors, and that's what we're doing. But we have to protect our seniors. We have to protect certain groups, especially our seniors where they have a heart problem or they have a diabetes problem. But we got to get our businesses open. Now, in your case, your governor was very early. He did a great job. But you look at what's happened. You look at what's happened in New York. You look at what's happening in Michigan. We won the case. You know, the court ruled it was unconstitutional. She was keeping everybody like in prison, except her husband. She was keeping everybody. No, she was keeping everybody in prison. Pennsylvania, they got to open the state. We're going to do well in Pennsylvania, too, by the way. Watch. North Carolina, we have Mark Meadows here, by the way, from North Carolina, our great chief of staff. Where's Mark? Our great chief of staff. He's working. He said, boy, he was a very successful congressman, and he's been doing a fantastic job. Where's Mark? He's doing a great job. Is it an easy job, Mark? No problem. But Biden will close your classrooms, and you know that. He actually said the other day he'll follow science. So that means if Fauci says close it up, he's going to close up the country. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And if you look at the numbers are great, and we're going to go over that. He wants to throw children out of the school, close up your schools, and shut down your workplace. And we're setting records for employment, unemployment. We're setting all sorts of records economically. Europe, which has imposed punishing, horrible, really strong lockdowns, is now experiencing a massive surge in cases. You know, the fake news would say, well, look at Europe. I said, we're doing better than Europe, but now Europe is exploding, and they'll be okay, but they're exploding. Biden's plan will crush America. My plan will crush the virus, and America will be stronger than ever before. So our early and aggressive action saved, I think, at least 2 million lives. We pioneered life-saving therapies and reduced the fatality rate 85%. Think of that. That's over a 6-month period. And I'm working to make the antibody treatment, and I've said it, and I got it, and I said, listen, for me it was great, and I'll bet for a lot of people it's great. These are the great scientists. They came up with some of the other incredible medicines of the last 10 years, this particular firm, but also Eli Lilly, it's very similar. And we're going to make it available free to anybody that needs it. Free. Should be getting the final approvals very soon. By the way, I'm getting approvals from the FDA that people would have taken 3 years to get, and those vaccines are coming out. But it's political, even that. I could have had them faster, but we had a little action. Nobody wanted me to get the approval before the election. And you know what? I'm not thinking about the election. I'm thinking about saving lives. The hell with the election. Thinking about saving lives. So that got a little political. Through Operation Warp Speed, we will have 100 million vaccine doses before the end of the year, and maybe substantially before that. The vaccine will end the pandemic once and for all, and they hate it when I say it. We got the vaccine. It's really looking great. Numerous companies, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer, great. Others too, many companies, all of them, they're great. But you know what? Without the vaccine, it's ending too. We're rounding the turn. It's ending without the vaccine. But the vaccine's going to make it go quicker. Let's get rid of it. We want to get it the hell out of here. So we're joined tonight by a man who I am so proud that I gave a very early endorsement to, and I did it because of David Perdue. David said, Donald, Mr. President, I have somebody who's running for governor. I said, governor of where? He said, the great state of Georgia. I said, tell me, what's the story? He said, could you endorse him? I said, well, tell me about him. I did a little research. And the only thing that mattered to me, I mean, to be honest with you, he's all Trump all the way. He was, before I knew him, I didn't know him. He had a very successful past, but I didn't know him. But he was very, you know, it's like Trump. He likes Trump. And it's hard to endorse people that don't like you, you know? Somehow I have a little problem with that. But his name, I said, what's his name? Brian Kemp, and he's a really smart guy, really good guy, and I endorsed him. And he went on to win. And his wonderful wife, Marty, is even better than him. But I have to tell you, we campaigned together. We campaigned together. And I mean, I've never seen, we campaigned against, I guess, Stacey. And we had Oprah. You know, Oprah used to be a friend of mine before I went into politics. She'd be down at Mar-a-Lago a lot. She liked our key lime pie. She liked our key lime. But Oprah was great. She was a friend of mine. But, you know, once you do this stuff, you lose a lot of friends very quickly. But that's okay. We got to do the right thing. And we had Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. They practically lived in Georgia. And all Brian had was Trump. And Brian won fairly easily. It wasn't that close. Brian Kemp. Great guy. And Marty, thank you very much. That's great. He's a great governor, and he was ahead of the curve. He said, we got to get this thing open here. And you know, those are the states that are doing the best. the ones that are doing these lockdowns, not to mention the problems caused with depression, drugs, alcoholism, all of the other things. So I just want to thank Brian and Marty, and it's great, and you're doing good. How am I doing, by the way, Brian? Are we going to win it? Because if we're not, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take my endorsement away from him if I don't. No, you're doing a great job as governor. Thank you very much. Brian Kemp. Thank you, everybody. Another guy, he's been a friend of mine for a long time. You know, he's a very, very successful man. And he did what I did. He wanted to do something. He wanted to give back. He loves this state like crazy. He loves our country. And he's central casting. If I'm casting a movie and I want to pick a senator, you know what I do? I say, I got to get David Perdue to play the role. But he is respected by everybody in Washington. He is respected and revered. And he brings back the bacon to this state. I want to tell you, he came to see me. David, stand up. He came to see me about the farmers when they... So thank you very much. Great job. You're doing a fantastic job. And come to think of it, I don't care. I can't even believe, you know, the guy that's running against him, I beat him once before. 2 years ago, he was running against a very good woman, Karen, right? Karen Handel. And she's doing very well, but he was running against her, and we defeated him. And then he said, he's running against David. I said, this guy's not in the same league with David Perdue. I mean, that puts a lot of pressure on David, just like I have pressure on me. You're running against these people. It puts more pressure on you, David. It would be easier to run against somebody that was good. But he's a radical left, Schumer, Pelosi guy. He's bad on the Second Amendment. I remember when he was running, he didn't even live in the district. He's running for Congress. I said, what's going on? But we defeated him once, and I hear you're going to defeat him again. Thank you, David. Thank you. So a person who's become a friend of mine, and Brian thought she was fantastic, and I met her, and I said, the only thing is, you know, how would you handle pressure? You never know. This is a rough, mean business. And I found out she can handle pressure. She has been fantastic. She was with me 100% on the impeachment hoax. She's been with us all the way, and she's a great woman, and her husband is a great man and a very successful man. That's a good thing, not a bad thing, by the way. Some people would like to say, oh, the husband's a great failure. It's much better. No, no, no. He's a really respected person, and he loves his wife, and she's a terrific person. Kelly Loeffler. Kelly? Thank you. Great job. Great job, Kelly. Great job. I mean, my only problem, she's running against another great guy. I just said, run it out. I'm backing both of them because Doug Collins is here. Where's Doug?